When I saw this makeup, it just jumped out at me, and I was skeptical because nothing else was working for me. But I decided to give it a try, and I'm so glad I did, and I'm glad that you are here. So my goal is for you to love your makeup, for you to love yourself, and for you to feel beautiful, because you are. This makeup is going to enhance your natural beauty. It's just going to make you look natural and feel good. It's just so pretty. The reason you really want to try this contour and brightening is because it just makes your face look so much more lifelike and so much more natural, because that's the way light hits our face, okay? And then we can just kind of enhance on it a little bit. I'm gonna now hop over to the no makeup look, and you're gonna see me create what you're looking at here. Now, there's no right way and wrong way to do this. What I do, because I have all this sun damage here and here, if I were just to go in and do it all in one layer, like contour, and then put my main color around it, for me, it's not quite enough coverage. I just want it to look a little better, because they're kind of sparse, it makes it look a little ruddy over there for me. What I do is I always go in with the 3D brush, and if you have one brush, your one brush can do everything, okay? But you will see me using several brushes here. I go in with Mango, and I just tap it, and you're just gonna press it. So see what this is going to do? You just press it over your areas of discoloration. So my main areas are here, and then over here, right here. And then I'll do under my eyes when we get to that point. Okay, so I'm just tapping it in. I always grab some on my fingertip for that, guys. It's just easier for me. Okay, so let's just say if you had rosacea, I always recommend color correcting first. Okay. And then if it was rosacea, you just do the same thing. You just take your color that I recommend for it and tap it until you get the coverage you want, and just tap and press, okay? You're not going to swipe it around. All right, so for me, that's good. I don't go in and get those, because for me, I don't mind that they're there. I like a more natural look. What I'm gonna do here is just more of a medium coverage, light to medium. Okay, and you can build on this to get full coverage. All right, so we're gonna go over here. And just do the same thing. So I'm just tapping and pressing until I get it how I want it. Like that. All right, so now you can do a couple of different things. Like I could just mix my main color with this and just apply it all that way. Or I can just go in now with my main color, which is hazel, and I can just work around it or apply it right over it, okay? So I'm gonna go in and I'm going to actually apply it very lightly over top. All right, and then I'm just gonna continue applying it all over. I always cover my whole nose, just because I get a lot of redness on my nose. So just keep tapping little bits at the time and pressing it on, okay? And so what I'm gonna do is cover most of my face. You'll see what I'm going to do. And a lot of people just go in and do it all in one layer. They contour, they brighten, then they fill their mane in around it. But this is just one way that you can do it. And I feel like sometimes it's easier to contour for a beginner as well, doing it this way. But like I said, completely optional. And I'm actually just, tapping this in as I go, and it blends it pretty well. And then I just give it a good look over. But see how pretty this is, guys? This luminosity is just unmatched. It is so pretty. To this day, I still look in the mirror and go, gosh, that's pretty. I don't want to wash my face at night a lot. I'm like, I don't want to take it off. It's just so different. And I hope you love it as much as I do. And if you need troubleshooting, guys, do not hesitate to reach out to me, okay? I'd much rather you do that than struggle. And if I don't have the answer, I'll search in our groups and get you some answers, okay? So I'm just tapping it here like this. And I'm not gonna go here, I'm not gonna go here. This is the detail brush, all right? So I'm gonna take this end, I'm gonna go into my contour. Okay, the contour is a little firmer, so I usually take this brush and just do that, okay? If you have a different brush, just do the same thing. You have to just use a little bit more pressure, and you can kind of feel it. And then when I do it, I just get started. I'm just gonna go here like this. You will see different artists put different amounts of contour on their forehead. Okay, just have to bend down a little bit to see in the mirror behind my phone, and just I kind of blend this one in as I go too, but when I do the other contour and brightener, I don't, you'll see. So Just kind of getting it on there how I like it. And what it does is wherever you put contour, it's going to sculpt and define. It's going to make the area recede. Okay, so that makes other areas pop forward around it. And you see how it already starts to bring focus more toward the center of my face. So then I'm going to turn the brush on its side and just tap like this. And we're going to hug the cheekbone right on top of it, or right where it starts to go under, okay? And I like to start at the back and then just tap, just kind of push it on there like this. And you can pick up more if you want. Sometimes you'll get, one will be a little thicker than the other, like that, okay? All right, so there's that. And you know, like I said, if you have this brush, you can just kind of use this either end for that. Let's do the other side. And I just look over here. I don't try to match them up. I just hug that cheekbone. And you know, you can just start out with a little bit. Like I said, if you're new and you're a little intimidated by it, but I had never contoured in my life. I was so bad at makeup, guys, when I got this makeup. Like I knew nothing. I just wore like eye makeup and blush every day and a little concealer, and it was all getting in my wrinkles. I rarely even ever did eyeshadow. It was just super basic makeup. But I got older and it took me years of searching to find this. I started looking for makeup and it took me years to find this and several different flops. So now we're going to do the jawline. You're just going to go like this. Try not to get it much at all above there. And it's just going to sculpt and define. And I'm going to stop where that sag is, because everywhere you put the contour, it's going to make it recede. So if you put it in here where it's already receding because of the divot, it's going to look like it's receding more. And the same thing for here, okay? So that's just my preference. If you don't have that sag, you can go all the way around, or you could even put some here. And you can contour down here like this to shadow out that sagging that we get. And we'll contour the nose at the end so I can show you how to do that, okay? So that's it for your contour. Super easy, highly recommended. It just makes such a difference. It just gives your face so much more life and makes you look so much more natural. You're gonna love it. Now I'm gonna flip the brush over and I'm going to go into my brightening shade. This is Sunlit for me. And I'm going to place it all over my lid. Not everyone uses their brightener. I do, but so I go ahead and do this. You can use your main color. You can use an eyelid primer if you'd like. Whatever works for you, but I do recommend you take something and put all over your lid to even out that skin tone. I do this even when I'm doing like hardly any makeup and running to the store. I must always smooth that skin tone out on my lid. I'm going to continue using this brush, and you're just using a small amount, okay, a tiny amount, and just put it on there and see what you like. See how that I barely touched the brush in there and I got that much. So I'm just going to put it here and feather it over, because that's how the light shows up. When I look at myself, I always see it kind of going out like this. And I personally always just grab my fingertip. I can just seem to get it on there better with my fingertip. And then I'm going to show you how to use the smudge brush. Just for video purposes, I can make it look nicer getting it on with these brushes, because my eyes and my hands don't always work that well together. Fine motor is not my forte. You're basically putting it in the T-zone, okay? And it doubles as your concealer. So I'm gonna blend this a little bit, and then I'm going to do some bronzer, lip and cheek, and then we're gonna come back and do under the eyes and contour the nose, okay? So let's blend this a little bit. When you blend it, all you have to do is just kind of press it. We're just diffusing this for now. And you can put it all on and then just blend it all together as well. Like I said, there's no wrong way, no right way to do it. This is just kind of the flow that I've gotten, and I have changed it up over time. So we're just tapping and pressing it. Blend this a little bit. And this, I just kind of, you want to get it into your hairline, and just you're diffusing it out so that there's no obvious transition. And sometimes I do very like light circles up here, but never on this where we have more texture and things like that, like more uneven skin tone. Let's do this side, same thing, just tapping and pressing. You're just kind of diffusing it out, and you can flick it up if you want. Just don't bring it down, because the whole point is this is giving us more definition and a little lift. Over here, just tap it like that. Here's one way you can do bronzer. I do have two side by side just because this is a large palette. And I take the blush and bronzer brush and just swirl it very gently in there. You're going to put it on the high points of your cheek, the size of your forehead, okay? So I just start going for it like this, and I usually do it 2 or 3 times. Because I pick up a very small amount, and I just like to build on it. Now, of course, if you have the 3D brush or another brush, you can just use that. Like I'll flip this end over and show you. You can just tap it on like this. Out. I usually just put some here. It's a really, really good thing to put on your neck to bridge that gap between the skin color on your neck and with your face and your chest. Now, I'm gonna put on some lip and cheek. Swapped that out to black cherry. I'm gonna put some on my lips. It's really, really pretty. It looks a little intimidating in the 10, but it's gorgeous. And then I usually just take my finger and do like this, okay? And put some there, and I'll show you what that looks like, and then I'm gonna add the other one, which is Dahlia. So you just do the same thing like you do. You just press it like this and kind of get it over here like that. So see, and you of course add some more if you would like. And then I'll put Dahlia over here. If you love pink, we have this one. We have pink grapefruit, baby watermelon, Hollywood, and then some other lighter type pinks as well. I usually stick with the bold colors because it looks best on my skin tone. So there's Dahlia. Isn't that so pretty? All right, let's even it up. And usually the rule of thumb is to go here over. I have a smaller face, so sometimes I do bring a little, over to my cheek, and that's optional, and you can do what you want. You can mix it up, but just tapping and stippling and getting it in there with that contour. You can apply it with your brush. This is just the way I end up doing better with it. So just keep pressing it till you get it blended. I'm going to contour my nose. You can do that a couple of different ways. I usually use my fingertips, and I just stick them in my contour a little bit, just a small amount, rub them together, and then I just go just like this. You want it on either side of the bridge of your nose. You can bring it from here all the way down anywhere. This is just what looks best on me after I've tried it many different ways. Totally optional. So that's all I do. If you want to shorten the length of your nose, put some down here, okay? Now I'm going to blend that a little bit, and then we're going to talk about under eyes. So just tap it very gently. It's really easy to blend this away. Sometimes I even use my fingers a little bit here. Now, I'm gonna take Mango, which is a color corrector for brown and purple. What you want to do is only put that color where you need it. Don't slather it all under unless you need it all under, okay? A small amount. So I'm gonna take this smudge brush, or you could take your fingertip, and I'm going to just put it where I see this discoloration, okay? And sometimes I have it all the way up there, so just a very small amount, and just kind of tap it in a little bit and let it warm up. If you don't have a small brush, you can just use your fingertip like that. And next I'm going to go in with my brightening color, which is Sunlit again. I'm going to take a very small amount, and we're going to place it over here like that. And then over here, I just go tap, tap, tap so I don't drag that skin. And then we're going to do the same thing here. And over here like that, okay? So you want to place it over here where the skin is a little thicker, and then start blending it, okay? So you're going to blend it. I always go over here first and just start diffusing that out. Sometimes I use my 3D brush, okay? And then hop over here, and you want to make sure you get it up here, all right? I already have some up there. It's going to open up your eye in that area with that brightness, because your nose in this area create a little shadow. So then you're just going to very lightly feather it down a little bit and over, and it's going to really open up your eye. It looks so pretty to have that little bit of brightness right here. All right, and then we're going to feather. We're going to just tap what's left across. Now, if you don't have a color corrector, if you don't need a color corrector, I suggest you do this exact same method and just tap what's left on the brush across. And then if you really think you need a little more, take the tiniest amount, okay? The tiniest amount. Or just wait until you're done and see how everything looks all together, and then decide if you want a little bit more, okay? Less is more. Putting the right colors in the right places, getting your eye prepped first, with the hydration underneath is going to make all the difference. This makeup has humectants in it. Over time, your skin will be more moisturized. It is so good for your skin. And then we're going to hop over here And just do the same thing. Get up in there, down and over a little, just like that. And then hop over here, diffuse that out, and then go across, go all the way up to your lash line, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna grab my Beauty Blender. And I go over it with the Beauty Blender first, and then that's when I assess, do I want more lip and cheek? Do I want to blend more? Do I need to add more contour or blend more contour? All of that. All of that. So here's my Beauty Blender, and you just want to kind of bounce it off. Make sure it's only damp. If it feels wet, then it's going to not do what you want it to do. It might mess your makeup a little bit up. So what this does is just gives you that more seamless blend. It also picks up any extra makeup. I just never skip this step. So then I'm just doing the same thing in all your movable areas where there's more wrinkles. Make sure you're just tapping it really well to make sure there's no excess makeup there. Go over here, there. Sometimes I do touch up like my sunspots now, or if I have redness around my nose, I will go in and touch that up. I think we're looking pretty good. If you did say want to add a little more contour at the beginning, I was notorious for blending my contour away because I would overthink it. So you can just like add a little bit more and just diffuse it up like that. Super easy. You can put some under here, and then I always make sure I take care of my nose there and make sure I've got it blended here, and we're good to go. Okay, so now illuminator. I have rose gold. It's gonna go on the high points of your cheeks where it catches light. It's so pretty. It is optional, of course. I don't go without illuminator. Even if I just do like a quick, put a little bronzer and concealer on to go to the store, I always put on a little illuminator just because it's so pretty. And here, you can put it here if you want. Just get it on the tip of your nose. And that's it. Now we're gonna do setting spray again. I'm just gonna spray the Urban Decay one. I like to use either a contour or an eyeshadow for my brows. So let me show you a really easy way to do your brows. So comb them down. You see mine already go down, so I'm gonna show you how to do the brow wax too, okay? Comb them down, and then you're gonna take your brush and you're going to follow the way the hairs grow. So this is called Cafe. It's my current color of choice for my brows. So just take your brush. I always start here and I start at the top. If you see, this gives you the perfect outline. So if you like to outline, you have the perfect roadmap. And I just start here and just start going in the direction that those hairs grow, and you'll be amazed how quick and easy this is and how nicely it turns out. And then I always just hop over here and give this just a little bit of what's left on there, because supposedly you don't want it too dark there, and then comb it back up. Easy peasy. And it just looks so nice to have your eyebrows frame your face a little. I only go inside the lines on mine. I don't draw in extra. I could, but I just choose not to. But I do like to fill them in. I just feel like it really frames out the face and makes them look even, because mine have gotten sparse over here. Same thing, just, alrighty, comb it back. And that's it. I use our brow wax. I've tried a couple other products, but I just don't like them as well. So you do want to activate it with setting spray or water. Spray it on and take your spoolie. I use a disposable spoolie for this. And just get it in there, okay? And then I always comb it this way first. And it just, that way it covers, you know, the front and the back side of the hair. And it's much more likely to stay where you want it. Same thing here. And just kind of comb them how you want them. After a sec, just tap it in place. Like that. Okay, so that's it for the brows. Now I'll just do a quick eyeshadow look. I want to show you a technique that I learned. And you can do this with any colors. You can do partial. You don't have to do all the steps I'm going to do. But the method comes out so pretty. And again, using this, like I have my brightening color on my lids. I could do contour or bronzer up and out here, and then my cheek color, lip and cheek color here, one of them, or both of them, and then some illuminator, and it would be gorgeous. I've done that so many times, and I get so many compliments when I do that. But I'm just gonna show you some of our eyeshadows. This technique has been such a game changer for me. I learned this technique at our convention by one of the makeup artists there, and I love it. It's so quick and easy. Take your brush, lay it down, swirl it back and forth. This is called Paris, okay? This is kind of like pinks and purples. You put it everywhere because you're going to set down that cream makeup that you have. You could use a powder. You could use a lighter color, whatever color you want, but you want to take a really light color. I love to use our color Sabrina or Cupcake or even Chai. And again, that was Cafe that I used on my brows. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing. Go over here. Okay, cover the whole area. All right, so next I'm gonna go into this color, which is London. So you want like that to be a light color and the next one to be a little more depth to it, a more medium color. Same method, lay the brush down, swirl it around, tap it off, and then you're gonna put it, I'm gonna have to move forward a little bit here so I can do this. So I can see in the mirror back here. You're gonna tap it all over, okay? Just the lid. And I always come over here because I can usually see a little spot that didn't get it when I do it this way, like right here. Okay, so I'm gonna do this eye. All right, so the same method with the brush. I'm gonna take this color, which is insanely gorgeous. It's called Mihaya. And same method, lay that brush down, swirl it around, tap it off. You're gonna start above your natural crease if you have a hooded eye, okay, which most of us do. So if you don't, you can go into your crease and it's gonna show. But for someone with a hooded eye, if you go in the crease, we already have the light color there. You can't really see it anyway when I'm just looking at you like this, okay? So you're gonna take it, I usually start about the middle of my eye, like right above my pupil, and just start going back and forth, just straight back and forth. It's so easy. Like you don't have to overthink it at all, just back and forth. If you feel like you need to pick that up, I notice with some of my colors, it looks a little uneven because I have so much texture there. And when that happens, I just do this, but otherwise, some days I don't need to do it. Okay, so just same thing, back and forth, easy peasy peasy. Give that one a little extra love, but I just follow where it went, okay? So that makes it so easy. You don't have to overthink it. You can see it, you just need to add to it. So next I'm gonna go in with a deeper color. This is optional. This one's called Kin, K-I-N, is this purple. And I'm just gonna tap it like that and just go boop, like right here. I didn't get enough, let's do it again. Boop, like that, okay? And sometimes I add more, sometimes I don't, but if you just put it like right there, that's all you need. And then I flip the brush over, hold it toward the end, and just start very lightly, just kind of flick it over, swirl it a little bit, flick it over. It's perfect. It's like so easy. That's it. If you want to add more, add more. You can bring some underneath. I probably just do that a little bit with this color. Very tiny bit. That was Kin. That was a darker color. I like a small amount, but you do you, okay? This is just to give you a roadmap. Okay, so now, two things. I'm gonna go to the store after this, so I'm gonna do them the same, but I'm gonna show you in steps. You can take another color that is close to the color that's on your lips and cheeks, which would work if you're doing the makeup as your eyeshadow as well, but I'm gonna take this color Pomegranate, and I'm just gonna put a little teeny bit like right there. I mean, just like right there, like a very small amount, like that. Or you can put a little more if you want, but I don't want to overdo it. So it just ties it all together. It's just this little extra pop. It's just so pretty. You can put as much, you can put more than this, but I'm just trying to show you how to do that. So that just adds just this little pop. It's just so pretty. And then something I really like to do, we do have some shimmer eyeshadows. I love using our powder illuminators as a shimmer, but you don't have to have that, of course. And you see how Paris is still up there, so it's light right there, and it's light on the inner corner, kind of. But I would either add more Paris there or go back in with something like Sabrina, but I'm gonna use Photoshop. This is a powder illuminator, and this is like an optional step. And I try to get it just right in the corner and just drag it a little bit, and then I'll blend it some. It just really looks so pretty, especially when you get your mascara on. And of course, optional, but I do just kind of go in and swirl it, so it's just more blended in for that part. At this step, I do one of two things. I either take this, which is the only one I like. I love it, and I just love it so much. I haven't tried any others because sometimes you try new things and you don't love them. So this is called L'Oreal Voluminous Smoldering Eye Pencil, and I either just line my waterline, the upper and lower waterline. That's it, okay? Or I take this brush again, and I go in with one of our eyeshadows. That's what I'm gonna do today. I take just one of our tins, and I spray it in there. Put a little bit on the brush, and then this one's called Revival, and it's just gonna complement these colors. A lot of times I use a brown one called Trust, And I just very lightly just go and line the lid, okay? And if you mess it up, it's fine because you can smudge it out with your eyeshadow brush. I try not, because a lot of people like that kind of smudged out look. It's just softer looking, especially as we age. It can look just nice and softer. See how pretty that is? And then I just don't do anything else but mascara. I don't do any more eyeliner. I do, put that a little bit there. A little wing if you want to flick it up a little, just like that. So now I do mascara. My favorite is Thrive Cosmetics. It's CAUSEMETICS Cosmetics. It's called Liquid Lash Extensions. Sometimes I feel like I might have this too dark. What I've learned in time is just to wait and get my mascara on. And then if I still think it's too dark, I'll just try to gently blend it some more, or I'll take my setting powder and I'll just put it on the brush and like blend it with that, and it really mutes it out for you. Speaking of setting powder, I like to put setting powder under my eyes. So there's some spray there already. This is our powder brush. You don't have to use this one. You can use any powder puff or powder brush you have, or your fingertip or your beauty blender. So I just tap it in, a very small amount. If you want to use powder with this makeup, I highly, highly suggest a very fine milled powder, okay? So ours is good. And then there's one called by IT Cosmetics by Pores. The only time I use powder is here, and I hope you can tell that that just mutes that shine out. It really blurs it out so that you can't, it is taking the focus and the attention away from that area where we have wrinkles and texture. So that's what I like to do. Now, I have really dry skin, so I don't use powder. Sometimes I do on my cheek color because I find that it can fade a little bit, and I'm really funny about, I don't want to put it on too dark. So in that case, I use the same brush, and you can do it at any point, and I would just tap it very lightly over that. If you have an oily T-zone or oily anywhere, you can just use your powder very lightly. And you can try just one, and then if that's not working, try the other. Like if you just try setting spray first, if that's not working, use powder too. If you have oily skin, it might take your skin a couple of weeks to acclimate to this makeup just because it's different, but stick with it. Stick with it. I have a video I can send you about oily skin that one of our artists did that's really good. Yeah, some people are totally fine, but some people need their skin overproduces oil a little bit, and then you just need to use your powder and just give your face time to adjust and go from there, okay? So I'm gonna do the mascara now. And I always roll it over the top. And then I just start down here, wiggle back and forth. Sorry, wiggle back and forth. And then start coating your lashes. And there's a really fine line between going too fast and going too slow, okay? So then once I have it like I like it, I just hold it here and start slowly going up. This is a tubing mascara. So it is definitely wet right now, but if you take a little minute and do this, it'll really lift your lashes. I never could do eyelash curlers. They just never, I could not get them to work. Very frustrating. Okay, so see? And then I am gonna put a little bit here. Sometimes I don't even put any down here when I do this method with just the liner on top, okay? But what a difference, right, with the mascara. Isn't it so pretty? Gosh, guys, these colors are so pretty. I mean, like, we have the prettiest eyeshadows, and you buy them individually so that you don't have excess of colors you don't like. You know, like when you buy one that is a pre-built thing. All right, let's get this. Okay, so see the difference, just a slight difference if you don't put it on the bottom, which I like both ways. So I do mix it up. And guys, before I got this makeup, I was so bad at makeup. I couldn't do any of this. I mean, my friends will see photos of me on Facebook, which I don't post that much because I'm on other platforms so much. They'll be like, well, how do you still look like this? And I'm like, because I know what to do with my makeup now. These little tips make the biggest difference, especially as we age. These are just tips for aging skin and, you know, the things that happen to us as we age. So I think that's it. I just want, I want you to love this makeup. And I'm here to help you. Let's take a look at how we look with the hair down. And I'm here for you, okay? I'm on your team.